For decades, certain regions of the United States have been experiencing unprecedented record temperatures and drought. Now residents of Wichita Falls, northern Texas, are learning to deal with what is already a very difficult situation. Nick Harper has the story.
4 years ago, Lake Arrowhead looked like this. But record temperatures and a deficit of rainfall have almost drained the lake dry. All of this should be water. But where there were once boats and swimmers, there are now dead fish and empty beer cans. The receding water has left the boat slip far behind, now 50 metres from the water's edge, while the moorings sit high and dry.
We're down to 23% full, so just over 3/4 of the lake is gone right now.
The man in charge of the area says this is the lowest the lake has ever been.
I've come to this lake my whole life as a kid, come fishing, come boating, camping, and the lake's always been full. For folks who have been around this part of Texas and have used this lake a lot, it's very troublesome for them because this is a place where they came to enjoy and have so many memories at, and now they come out here and the lake's not here.
With visitor numbers down from 100,000 a year to 30,000, tourists have to content themselves with the wildlife rather than the water sports. But the real problem is that Lake Arrowhead is the city's main source of water. This lake was last full just over 4 years ago. Since then, the level of the water and the number of people visiting the area has slowly drained away. So much so that this spot where I'm standing should be 18 feet or 5.5 meters underwater. The weather has certainly changed in this region in recent years. Central and southern parts of the US have seen temperatures rise. Some say climate change is to blame. Over the last 4 years, Wichita Falls has had the driest spell since records began in 1897. In 2011, there were more than 100 days of over 100-degree temperatures, far above the average of just 28 days. And it's only received 40% of its usual rainfall, meaning the city now has a rain deficit of 1.5 years. Further south, the fields are untouched by the drought. But travel north, and its impact is clearly visible. The patchy grass and bare earth show signs of several years of too much heat and too little rainfall.
Basically, a city is completely drying up.
Local meteorologist Ken Johnson says this is the worst drought the area has ever seen. The tipping point came in 2011, when rainfall was 2/3 below average.
I don't see, at least for now, things getting better anytime soon. But it's hard to be a forecaster in this type of an environment. It's a real challenge to me because I have to find ways to make my shows interesting. Because every single day is the same. It never changes. Hot, dry, windy.
The lack of rainfall has led the city to impose severe water restrictions on its residents and fines of up to $2,000 for anyone who uses too much water.
From the few years that I've been here, the summers have been really hot. We've been in 100+ degree weather, so it's not that much of a surprise to me.
It definitely has affected me. The whole point is to make people aware, because sometimes we're not aware of how much water we are using. So I think it's good, and especially starting young from the younger kids, so they grow up being aware and more cautious about how much water they're using.
I have heard things like we're pretty close to running out of water. That's a little scary.
Time is running out for Wichita Falls. The city is working on a plan to convert wastewater into drinking water. But even with that, the predictions are the city will run out of water in just over 2 years' time. Nick Harper for Telesaur, Wichita Falls.